Declare so.
Right, could I get a motion to add a resignation to the agenda?
I'll move Kiplinger. I'll second Butler.
Okay, and then can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Or I mean, sorry, to adopt the agenda with the included resignation?
I'll move. Beef.
I'll second Kiplinger.
And we're gonna add it to item number 10.
Mrs. Leskowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Dunningham,
Yes.
Mr. B.
Yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger.
Yes.
And now we'll go on to approval of the minutes. And I get a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll move. I'll second Kiplinger.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have one. Point of discussion. The last regular meeting in May, we read the names of the facility committee members that were unappointed and the new ones that were appointed. They didn't make it into the minutes this time for May. So I don't know if we want to make an amendment to have those listed so they're in our official records. Because that's where I actually went back and looked last time to make sure we had everybody covered was in the old documented minutes. Is anybody on board with adding those in or making sure the record's clear for that? Because I feel like it should be in the recorded minutes. I had that list, I gave it to you, I think we passed it to Bob. So you could have that, I can go through them again, but I would.
Yeah, just give it to me. If I did, I've misplaced, I don't recall that, but yeah, go ahead and shoot those to me. We'll just add them in as amended, whatever was stated.
I agree, I think it should be in.
Yeah, it needs
in
to be in
there.
there.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? You did roll please?
Mrs. Leskowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Dunningham,
Yes.
Mr. B.
Yes.
Mrs. Kiplinger.
Yes.
Right now we got the public participation, the first one, Julie Reese. She has two, you can just do both of them right now.
The other one's for that,
We're just doing any topic. So you can do
agenda topics now.
and whatever else you want to talk. All public participation. Right
Oh,
now.
wait, what, we changed that?
We did last one.
It was like that in
It says agenda minutes right here.
This is the.
It says any topic.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening. I had a couple questions on the agenda. One was for the incorrect set placement. How much was incorrectly paid out in total? What are the salaries for the summer staff workers and summer student workers? It wasn't listed in the document. Last time it was listed, but in some places. Not thrilled with yet another administrative assistant. And then I had a question on the special ed aides. I thought at the last meeting, we were told that the special ed numbers are decreasing. So I was wondering why more aides. If that's true, maybe I misunderstood that. And in the list of all those classified hires, none of them say how many hours or days they're contracted to work. So my any topic was just a couple of things for the good of the community. I attend a lot of meetings as trustee. I'm not speaking as trustee, I'm just saying I attend a lot of meetings. And the last couple of meetings I've been to for the Miami County Township Association, we've had some speakers from Miami County there. And they have told us repeatedly about a property fraud alert system that Miami County offers to its residents. You can sign up through the Miami County Recorder's Office. I have some pamphlets. But what that does is if somebody tries to do a quick claim deed or puts a lien against your house or anything like that, you get alerted. So it should cut down on the fraud, and that's available to anybody in Miami County, so that kind of hits the school pretty squarely. So I just thought I'd bring that up here. And then the second thing from the Miami County Recorder's Office is there's an Ohio veteran ID card. So if you know a veteran, they can take their DD 214 up there and they can get a card that they can carry around to use for discounts and anything that they would normally have to bring a DD 214 for. This way they don't have to carry around the DD 214. That's also from the Miami County Recorder's Office. And the last thing was we had a presentation on the property reappraisal that's being done this year in 2025. That's from the Miami County Auditor's Office. And I brought some little handouts that they gave that shows the schedule and the rules and why they do it and how they do it and how they figure things out. So I just wanted to let you guys have those in case you want to give them out to anybody who wants to come up here. But that information would be from the Miami County Auditor site. So that was it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the superintendent's reports?
No official report tonight, just some information as we continue to, we got resignations, we had resignations and we had one resign today. We've got a good job offer, so we continue to staff here. I will give you an update probably next month. We'll have a pretty good idea of who will be here, who will not. Start to talk about the strategic plan in more detail. We'll be at the facilities meeting Wednesday. And we will we'll highlight the year in July, what we did this past year, and I think in August we'll do a day of schools and get ready for the upcoming school year. That's all I have. I know we just met last week. Talked a lot last week. That's all I got.
Thank you. Treasurer's report?
Yes. Well, we're almost there. We are through 11 months. As I mentioned in the update, we've gone away from the company that was doing the monthly reports. They had a pretty green report. And so now we are going into a more traditional report that we're putting together, same information. And this is a report, the monthly cash flow report is simply the financial forecast at this point in the year versus what on estimate versus what the actual is. And this is what I would call the most important document for a Board of Education to understand. If something's going amiss, then it's going to show up here rather quickly. Now, there's no real magic in the fact we have no fiscal year to date difference. We did a May financial forecast update, and I think by the time we get to closing the month and doing stuff, I already knew all the answers, obviously. So this number will have some variances, obviously, next month. Those numbers are already loaded. They are what your financial forecast was approved as those full amounts. What is useful to you is to kind of look back and see, well, how do we compare this year at this time as to where we were last year at exactly this time? So it's through May last year and it's through May this year. And the variance on the far right-hand column shows you, are we up or are we down? You can see general property tax and tangible personal property tax. You couldn't be much closer. Those net out to about $13,000 to the good. So not a lot of change there from 1 year. Income tax up almost $351,000. Can we make that just a tad bit bigger? I mean, I can see my numbers here, but it might be helpful for some of the people. There we go. Then we get into your next two line items or your state funding. It comes in two broad categories. One's restricted, one's unrestricted. And that's just useful to me and Jenny as to, we know where to post it based upon all the line items on that you receive. And so to make that simple, you're up $350,000, or I should say you're up 1.7 million on unrestricted so far this year, and 222,800 on the restricted funds. And those are going to be some special ed dollars, things of that nature. So those are not surprises to us. It's the fact that you have increased student enrollment and things of that nature is what is driving those numbers. Then we get into the portion of your sale or a portion of your property taxes are paid on your behalf by the state. Those are up slightly, $64,000 from a year ago. And then all other revenue, it's just a miscellaneous category. It's also going to have your payment in lieu of taxes in there as well. And that's up 76,000 from a year ago. So that's trending very similar to what we saw up above on the property taxes. Transfers in, again, if transfers in are occurring, they're generally occurring, or transfers out, I should say, when we get those are occurring in June. So there wasn't much activity last year, nor this year for that matter, on that advance in. All other financing resources, again, those numbers are those numbers last year were up. This year they have not occurred. So, and that's not necessarily a good or bad thing, one way or the other. It's just how the numbers are. On the expenditure side, overall, when you look at overall expenditures, you have $4.481 million more than 1 year ago. And you can see where your major increases are in salary and fringes. Almost over up $3.3 million sitting there on those two lines. You got some more staff. You gave some good raises, particularly on the certified side last year that are starting to reflect there. Purchase services are up 755 from a year ago, or they're down. Actually, yeah, they are up from a year ago. And then capital outlay, not really trending that much there, 106,000. And other objects, 296. So this again just shows us how we're tracking overall. Where's our cash sitting from a year ago? They're actually right now $2.4 million better. Now there's a lot of activity happens in June, so we'll see how these numbers swing, if at all, as we get through the month of June. Things are moving swiftly. Things are moving smoothly as well for the month end closing. We're getting a lot done at this point, and really turn the corner here as we move to get all the records closed. We do provide you a revenue grant, which is simply, it looks at these numbers and shows you the estimate, the actual, and what it was a year ago. We do the same thing with expenditures. Again, those are included in the documents we provide you. They're also in here. So you can go ahead and drop a revenue real quick, just to see what they look like. Again, the first two bars are going to be identical, but the third one's going to show you where you stand from last year. And the expenditure does the same kind of thing. You can look at that at your leisure. Some people learn a little bit better or understand numbers a little bit better, pictorially versus a spreadsheet, and some vice versa. Now, next month, when we have this meeting, you'll have pie graphs. There's always 1 month in the year you get the pie graph, and that's at the end of the year because the pie is now complete. And that gives you a little bit different look. Well, we'll also include this, but we do those as well, and that starts sharing with you, what percentage of your revenue is coming from local sources, state sources, what percentage of your budget are you spending on salaries, fringes, those type of things, and that ends up being a useful tool that people tend to learn. The cash summary. We've been busy. Last month, when we looked at this report, you would have seen cash balances in all four of the general fund fund special costs. So each one of those line items, we call fund special costs in 001, and then the next four numbers are 0000, that's the main one. But we also had on the books three other funds that really are obsolete. We don't really need for any particular reason. Now, ironically, I believe I've been reading a little bit in new USAS guidelines. We may end up having to put some back in for a different purpose. I really haven't gotten too deep into that. I just kind of a window. And
Not till 2027.
oh, great. Then that will not be ours to do. You would have seen a balance in on 002, 0000 bond retirement. We, combined it all into the main activity is that 9215. So they're 521. Made no sense to keep that out there. And what we do, we identify expenditures in this fiscal year that apply to that in that fund, and we just make a correction and get things lined up for you. Where you're really going to notice this is you get down to the 019 funds, 18 of them have been zeroed out in this month. Probably got another 10 or 15 that we're going to be looking at to see what we're going to do. Can we get rid of some of these that are quite frankly dormant? When I see no month to date, year to date receipts or expenditures in a line item, then we start asking questions. If you do a quick 5-year report that tells us how dormant is it, and that's how we came up with this. Quite frankly, the 019 funds, and we did it on basically 2 entries. They were either fine arts or they were science. And there's no real magic in it other than the fact that the title had fine arts or science. And so we found those types of expenditures. These were things anywhere from a penny to a couple $100. That are just stuff that needs cleaned out, stuff that's been around for years in some cases. So we're working to get your records consolidated, cleaned up to the best of our ability by the end of the month, so we're not carrying that fund with us into July. Any questions on those 2 things before we go into anything else? Here, you got your detailed check register. I look at this check register, and would it be just as beneficial for the group if we eliminated salary and fringes? That's a first.
Yes, that
I'd
would
say
be very
30
beneficial.
pages.
It's just pages and pages of information, and it doesn't really. It's never going to generate a question. And so we'll look at seeing how we can do that moving forward. So it's just either checks or electronic checks, ACHs, things of that nature that are non-payroll related. But I noticed that as I scanned through, and I thought, yeah, there's probably a way to make this report just a little bit more useful to you. You have a certificate of estimate resources on the agenda. That is the one for FY26. I could have brought it in on the 30th as well. It was on the desk, ready to go, and I thought, well, let's just go ahead and get done. That allows us to go ahead and start putting numbers in for the estimates into the revenue records for next year. So we would recommend that be approved. Does that get me through everything? Yeah, there is a transfer of funds on here as well, but we need. Oh, this is what we do each year is we roll one of the older class funds that are out of here up into next year's class. 2025 we just left. We leave that there just in case anything comes in the next year, but yeah, for policy, this is what you guys have been doing, and it allows the students who raise the money, obviously, to continue to benefit from it. That's a good way to do that. And that would include treasurer's items.
Okay. Can I get a motion then to approve the consent agenda for the treasurer's report?
I'll move.
I'll second. Donahue.
Any discussion? Okay, will please?
Mrs. Leskowitz,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue,
Yes.
Mr. V,
Yes.
Mrs. Kitchen.
Yes. Now go on to employee certified personnel.
Thank you. So what we've done here is working with the administrator. Obviously, we're opening up the old school, 5-6 building. Reduce class sizes and focus on our special ed population, which is actually growing. And yeah, I anticipate significantly, our numbers were low percentage wise, which I talked about last week. So, so here's the recommendations. Christy Goodman, 6th grade social studies science. Aaron Kaler, 5th grade social studies science. Victoria Ogg, 5-8 art teacher. That's a replacement. Back up to Christy. Christy's new and Aaron Kaler new, but also makes this more equitable. These 5th and 6th grade teachers, what we're trying to do is get away from the pod, if you will, so I don't have the same 25 kids following each other around all day. All right, we have 200 kids in grade, 150 kids in grade, we'd like to see them with the other kids. So this enables us to do that. So the Jill Passett, with 5th grade intervention specialist, Lawrence Phillips, ELA teacher, Leon Ware, 2nd grade teacher, replacement, and then Diana Wilson Mosley, that's a replacement. 70 intervention. So those are, like I said, those are between that, and I'll get to the age in a minute. We got an opportunity here to right size everything and do what's best for kids. So I think we're trying to take the opportunity. Employee certified, we had a resignation, or no, I'm sorry, Catherine Taves will get the resignation. Catherine Taves will go to the media center, should be the 5th through 8th grade music choir teacher. So, you know, Laura, Wolfrid's done so many things, so many classes, and what happens is we share staff between the high school and the middle school. And what happens here is this will enhance the arts. When Catherine comes into the 5-8 music choir, it's good for scheduling. It's the best schedule you see in the 4-year who've been here from a Singleton state, right? So so Laura will only teach 1 7th, 8th period, and the rest is all high school. Catherine will take over the 5-8. Resident mentor, Allison Heisey, she was left off. That was why she's on now. She was left off with the mentor. She did the work. She needs to be paid for it. Approve the MOU for the salary schedule placement, and then adopt the resolution to correct compensation. Stipends. Board approve the college credit plus, the following teacher met all requirements for CCP, and those are the courses for the bargaining. Supplementals, so those are our coaching supplementals for the DEA agreement. And then we have the following resignations: Kristen Johnson, who's resigning from 7th, 8th math, and Samantha Stevens, she was already on 5 teachers. If you recall, I said we were reducing down 5 from 2 classes. Through the substitute teacher list, like we always do, and then that'll come to the end of the summer because we'll have the other. And then approve the consent agenda for certified person.
Thank you. Can I get a motion then to approve the consent agenda for certified personnel?
I'll second. Donahue.
Any discussion?
I was just gonna ask a question, please. I just want to make sure that I understood what you said. So I think I counted there were 6 5th grade teachers, and these 3 new positions makes a total of 9 then, and will they all have homerooms and, you know?
Yeah, I think, well, one was a resignation. I think we're down to 8. I don't know off the top of my head. I worked with Josh on this. Josh did the heavy lifting on this 5-6 building. But yeah, they will, they're gonna run it similar to, a little different than they do in fourth and fifth, the elementary. So they're gonna run a little bit more like a middle school. But not quite, that makes sense, they won't switch every period, they're gonna block the thing together, but they will have them. And as all this gets finalized, because what I wanna do is I'm gonna lay out for you as a board and community as we go forward. Here's what it looks like, here's the schedule, you know, I've still got one issue with transportation that doesn't affect Bethel, but it's not Bethel, and I'm still working on that. So, but yeah, I will get all that to you. It's, I want to, and I'll start, and I said in my last video, the community, I will start to share information as we lock it. There's just been a lot going on with opening the building, moving people over, finding some time from the facilities, but also the opportunity to, you know, lower some class sizes, increase some of our offerings, if you will. I think just do a better job.
Do you know what our average class size is
It should, next year or this year?
this come next school year?
So next school year, we should be right around 22 kids.
Okay.
Would be my guess.
So
Right
we'll
now,
have a little room for growth
you
there.
will, yeah, this is it, like I told Josh. 5-6 months ago. I told the other building administrators, what we've done today, what we've done now is. Opening the building, staffing, right size staffing is enabled us to, we'll be able to absorb growth. So we won't need to hire more staff, we'll be able to absorb some of this last year. I don't see a big increase. In numbers for a couple of years. I mean, we're gonna get kids, but I don't think you'll see like you will in 3-4 years. I talked with the builder about home. We're working on enrollment projections, too. I should have this for you. So, it should be very realistic, I think, what I said last week.
One more quick follow-up, just, well, do you expect, I don't know what else is still open, what else, is there a lot open
Yeah,
that we should
a couple
expect?
open this afternoon before I got down here. So, yeah, there's a lot of it. There's people moving and, we've got people resigning, we've got people take other jobs. July 10th is usually that deadline for
Yeah.
people to leave, so, I mean, we got, and I'm not mad about it. It's it'll be a good movement.
Just manage, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, I was just curious to know what else was still out there. So,
Yeah, without a scorecard in front of me at this point now, it'd be hard for me to tell you, there's a lot of changes going on.
Okay, so
But
still a lot then, I
there's
mean, a
still-
lot of movement.
Not a lot, there's movement though. We've had transfers, non-renewals, voluntary transfers. We've got people here that are new hires tonight, you know, we've got, once I get all that ironed out, I'll present it all to you and the community. So, this is exciting, it's good stuff, not like we're sitting here trying to figure out, you know, a levy to run for money, it's not like we're trying to figure out who to riff, it's not like, I mean, it's not a bad thing, it's just a lot of work.
Okay, thanks.
That it?
Mrs. Lutskowicz,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Dunning,
Yes.
Mr. B,
Yes.
Mrs. Kipling.
Yes.
Classified personnel. These are new hires, so I'd like to get into. Sure. Everybody. Lawrence is.
Lawrence is calling.
So, first classified personnel is Melissa Burbridge, first grade classroom aide. That is, so Burbridge is going to be a classroom aide, is going to be a special ed self-contained classroom. That will be that position. Ashley Graves, just guidance office and high school admin assistant. Kelly Heck, second through fourth grade special ed aide. That's another one. Self-contained. You've got Katrina Nicely, which I've referenced before. She is the ELSS special speech Russian. Helpful. And Valerie Sykes, classroom aide for kindergarten, and Isha Walters, special ed aide. I think, no, sorry, she's a self-contained, the other one's not. Employee classified summer workers. Christy Jackson and Carlson Good, so. I don't know what they're being paid, it would be what they all the others would pay. I can find out for you. We've got, then the student worker Dalton Dill was communications. Dalton's gonna do what, you remember when Catherine was out and we had a student worker to do the media center? So Dalton could help with that on the, varying hours, but he will work on communications with some of the, communication stuff that we got going.
Wait.
Leave without pay, Amber Torres, celebrate December 19th. And that's what I've got here.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda for classified personnel?
I'll move Kiplinger.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just have a couple, I thought you said summer, but it says school year, so which one did I misunderstand? I'm sorry,
No, the,
for Dalton,
Dalton will
for the
be,
communications.
Dalton will be during the school year.
There are max hours on that?
No, it won't be a lot. It just, it varies similar to when we had the media aid here, just. Very good at it, he knows how to do it, and it's good experience. It saves us hiring a full-time assistant or something like that, it's a lot cheaper, he knows what he's doing.
So he would do that like during his study halls?
Yeah, when he had time off, yeah. Similar to some of what the kids we do now. You see him around working.
And then, thank you, the only other question I had was, will the BHS guidance office, high school admin go back and forth
Yeah.
or?
Yep.
As needed then, or?
I talked to Barrett and the guidance counselors and that person, so that person, I guess a couple of years ago, they were talking about getting an assistant for the high school secretary position. But that will be basically 50-50 split, whether it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then alternate, or if it's 2.5 days, 2.5 days. 4, 5, 5. I mean, they'll work that out. There's certain times when, when you've got our guidance counselors who do not have a secretarial work, right? And they spend hours stuffing envelopes and, printing off stickers. And I mean, there's a lot going on. And I think, some of them said, kids go through it, they do a nice job, right? I think, and so I think we would rather have them doing that than the other things. And I think, we need a little help. We need a little more in high school too, so. Bring a few things in, so I think that is helpful.
And then it doesn't say how many days, but didn't we make the guidance counselors and the high school admin the same amount of days?
So the high school secretary, for example, would like to reduce her days for next year. If she thinks, reduce it by 5 days. When Barrett was hired, you all weren't, I don't know who was here on board, but Barrett was 260. Little high school. But he's 260, and then the guidance counselors have, I think, 10 extended days. So it doesn't say on here, but typically it's the secretary, they don't work the extended. They work the school year or they do that. I don't know exactly what's in it.
I mean, I would imagine that they'll come in when the office opens and when the guidance council.
Yeah, but
when
I
they
don't
come
see-
on staff
yeah,
in
exactly.
August.
Oh, yeah, they won't come.
But they wouldn't get the +10.
No, I see them during the day, doing the work during the day, during the school. And then the other stuff that's just a lot of catch up for the guys. Scheduling. Whatever they do. The guidance counselors are interesting. It's different fees for different levels.
Yeah,
So,
okay, thank you.
thanks.
Please.
Mrs. Leskowitz?
Yeah.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue?
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Ms. Kipling.
Yes.
Business. I like, the board, recommend the board to adopt the policies from Neola 43.2 winter 2024 update. Second reading, here they are. I'm not gonna go over with you because we already went over them. And with what changes have been reflected in Neola, so that's them. Student activity trip, Bethel volleyball is going to Indiana University, same deal on any overnight trip. We like to have it for approved, so they fall under our guidelines. They are protected. Approval of ODOT project. So we've got, so this is a lot of stuff that, if you remember, we did this earlier when I first got here. There was a turn lane issue, easement, okay? So this is just a lot of paperwork to say that we would like to donate this little boom culvert across the street here worth about $6. But we would like to donate that to ODOT so they can fix the culvert underneath the road. And then it's pretty seamless. We did the same thing for the turn lane. They come in and they got the donation letter here and they sign, notarize it. You all sign it and they go away and they fix it. So, but that's what that is. They've been in my office a few times talking about all the paperwork. So, and that is ODOT project, and then that's all I got for consent.
Thank you. Can I get a motion then to approve the consent agenda for business items?
I'll move Kiplinger. Second, Butler.
Any discussion? We did vote, please?
Mrs. Westwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue,
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mrs. Kipling.
Yes.
And so it's, the next one is, we renumbered it, so 10 is resignation. So I'd like a motion to approve the resignation of Tina Hageman as the treasurer and also the agreement as presented.
I'll move Kiplinger.
Second.
Any discussion? We did roll, please?
Mrs. Westwood,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue,
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mrs. Kipling.
Yes.
And that puts us on track with discussion, so BEA update.
Good evening, board. This is exciting. This is my first time at the podium. They let me have the reins tonight.
Make the most of it.
So,
Your last speech and podium was phenomenal.
oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I was very nervous, but yeah, thank you. First of all, we'd like to say congratulations to a few people here, the high school environthon team for participating in state and their advisor is Catril. Coach Clue and Cade Schweikart. Cade ran in the Division II state track meet, 800 race and did very well. The Just Right team finished 7th out of 59 teams at the state competition. Scarlett Pfeiffer was 20th out of 160 students, and Caleb Rubel finished 26th out of 160. So super proud of them. And then also congratulations to Wilford and Middle School Choir for performing at Kings Island a couple weeks ago. We would like to say thank you to the custodians and the summer help for all of their time and effort they're putting in over the summer, making sure that you're ready to go.
A lot of noise.
So
Yeah, they are noisy.
we appreciate all the work they're doing, and like to say thank you to Mackenzie Hatter for the payroll calendar that she just sent out with important dates. That's a super helpful resource for BPA members. So we really appreciate that from her in the treasury department. And then last but not least, we would like to say welcome to the new hires, especially to Tony. I graduated with Tony back in 2007, so super cool to see him coming back to Bethel. Congratulations, Bethel. It's a great place to be. So thanks, guys.
Before you leave, the
Sure.
new hires, who is in the audience is new hires? So I haven't met everybody. Yeah. You are,
I'm Erin Taylor. I actually taught here for 3 years.
and you're back.
Yes, and
That's, okay, I know I hear names. See, I hear names, right, but I don't get to put face with names on the board meeting or I see you in school, so. So welcome,
Thank you.
and you are,
I'm Christy Goodman, the
Good.
sixth grade science and social studies person.
No.
yeah, Josh in there.
Yes.
Yeah. Got it.
And the secretary, which I thought was pretty neat that she was in the interview. And the another sixth grade teacher.
Makes you wonder who's running the building, doesn't
Well, I know.
Firms.
it?
I considered it a good thing if she approves me. So,
Yeah, good.
yeah.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm done. Interim.
Okay, they do.
Now we got committee reports for the CTC.
They're on summer break. I don't really have anything new to report for, the CTC. They'll be starting in August about, same time we do, a little bit earlier.
Yeah, you know, the CTC
15.
too now, I was over there, and we talked about bringing over another STEM and ag. So we are going to do that. Yeah, we gotta do a year out on the way, so we're on the list.
Yeah.
It's coming over.
26, 27.
So it'll be, this is what, 25, 26, 26, 27 it'd be.
That's good.
Satellite ag, and extra STEM. For 5
For the record, he lasted 27 seconds.
It's a record.
It's not interrupting his input. Thank you. Technology.
I'm sure Josh will tell us when all the new laptops are in and rest of stuff, right?
They're on the way. They're ordered.
We paid, we okayed them, so I'm sure they're on the way.
Facilities.
We rescheduled our June 12th meeting, which was last Thursday, to this Wednesday. So it'll be, on the 18th at 6 p.m. here in the media center. If anybody wants to join us. It's a public meeting, so if you're available, please stop in.
Academic.
Mike and I and everybody who are on that are waiting to get all our data so that we can get something. So those will probably start the next school year.
Yeah, you're right, there's a data team we're putting together. Data team, somebody can really sit down. And rationalize and extrapolate the data and figure out where we need it, where our needs are. So he's going, that looks good.
Sounds good.
You need help there, where? Okay,
The policy committee, Rachel had to step down from chair and nobody took an interest in replacing her.
It's-
I wonder why.
it's so fun.
I was expecting my phone to ring off the hook, but it didn't. So I can backfill that for the rest of the year and then we'll readdress it again at the board meeting in January.
Yeah, we've been playing catch up for a year on policy, but we're getting there. So we're basically only one batch updated. So,
And finance.
We're just waiting to get through this hurdle and then we'll probably have a meeting after you guys close out the year or something and
Yeah,
kind
that
of
makes sense.
just figure out where we are going forward and then
That's it. Right. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I moved.
I'll second Donahue.
Roll please.
Mrs. Vessel,
Yes.
Mrs. Butler,
Yes.
Mrs. Donahue,
Yes.
Mr. Deep,
Yes.
Ms. Skinny.
Yes.
You was ringing.
Still
Yes.
light outside.
Go to that.